should have came up with an introduction for this, but I didn't. Hello, Beth and viewers. My name is Taylor, but you already knew that. This is Alex. You should already know that, but if you don't, that's Alex. Say hi, Alex.
Hello.
And today, we are filming the Game of Thrones tag. Now, this isn't an official tag that's going around YouTube, but I found a couple of videos and I mixed up some of the questions, and Alex, being the wealth of Game of Thrones knowledge, he added a bunch of questions that I think really mixed it up, because the tag was very bland and very repetitive, and I was like, we're gonna make this more intense. I have little things. That's Tyrion, and that's Arya. And I thought Tyrion would be shorter than the rest of them, but
He's the same size.
he's the same size. Question number 1. How did you discover the television show and or the book series? I discovered the TV series because everyone was talking about it and it was getting lots of hype. So when season 3 was coming out, there was so much hype and everyone I know watched it. So I was like, oh, I'll get into it. So I started watching it in between season 2 and season 3. And he was definitely a huge influence because he is quite obsessed with Game of Thrones, if you didn't notice.
We'll get to this later.
Yeah. I started reading the book series again after his prompting when he read the book series. So, TV book series influenced by this fine young man.
I started watching the series right after the first season ended because I started watching it when it first premiered on HBO. And I started watching, this is too much going on right away. I can't do it. So then I went back and rewatched it later on, right before the second season aired. And then I watched the second season through. And
I didn't know that you would watch the second season live on air.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I discovered the series through the book after watching the second season. I was just like, you know what? I should read these. And I did.
And that made him more so obsessed.
A lot more. Question 2. Who is your favorite house? My favorite house is House Lannister.
Really? Really? You
I
like
have
Lannister?
so much Lannister paraphernalia. I have the shirt, I have a mug with their sigil and house words, I have a shot glass, she got me one of these, which is of Cersei. I have the Lannister plaque on my wall. House Lannister is my favorite house.
He has a Lannister tattoo on his ass.
Not yet.
My favorite house is, I don't really have a favorite house. I guess if I had to identify with the house, it would be Targaryen, but let's get this straight. I don't really agree with the Targaryens' history. I like the new direction Targaryen is heading in, I guess you could say. But if I had to pick a house that I most identify with to go the cliche route, it would be the Starks. So the next question is, who is your favorite character from House Stark? This is really hard for me, but I would have to say Arya. Now, I know that Jon Snow is not technically a Stark, but he's a Stark, let's be real. So it would be Arya and Jon Snow.
Mine is Catelyn. There's a soft spot in my heart for Catelyn. Catelyn Stark. Oh, and I really like Lyanna, even though she's not technically.
She's dead.
Who is your favorite character from the House of Lannister? Cersei. Cersei all the way. Cersei.
Tyrion. I love Tyrion. Tyrion should be the winner of the whole damn game, but he's counted out because he is a small man.
It's a dwarf.
An imp. Who is your favorite character from House Targaryen? Daenerys. Who else could you possibly like from that house? There's only 2 people.
Rhaegar.
You would like Rhaegar.
I really liked Rhaegar.
Daenerys is a strong female character, and I'm a female, and I like being empowered. And I think she's empowered in a beautiful way.
That actually, I read a quote online about how a lot of the women characters, like Cersei or even Arya, when they're trying to be strong, they have to kill somebody, but there's a scene in the show where she's approached with somebody who seems like he's gonna kill her, and she's in the bathtub, and she just stands up completely naked, and he submits to her, and it just shows that she has the strength of will and the courage of... She's the strongest woman in the series, all around.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have all the power, but she has, she could stand up to somebody naked, and they would submit to her, which I thought was a really good scene all around, and it just showed how powerful Daenerys was.
Yeah. Who was your favorite character from the House Baratheon? Okay, I have to say that I really, really, really liked Robert before he passed away. Let me talk about it. I think Robert had such potential to be king, and I think he was so used to him and Ned being a pair that when he had to go off and be a king by himself, he couldn't handle it, and that's where he fell through the cracks, and that's why he was so poorly ran the rest of his life after he won the war. Because, you know, when they describe him in the book, at least in the first book, he was this regal guy, this tall, strong guy who beat the crap out of Rhaegar and took back the throne. And
He took the throne.
Took the throne. I don't know. I said took back. And when you compare the two, you're like, why wasn't Ned king? Now, if you read the book, you'll realize why Ned wasn't king. He would not have been able to handle his shit either, to be honest. Neither one of them were smart enough to be on the throne. But what I'm saying is, I like what Robert was, and he's not that anymore, obviously. If that makes sense. And I also have to say that Baratheon isn't my favorite house. I enjoy Renly at some capacity, but I also think he's stupid. I just think there's a lot of dumb people coming out of the House of Baratheon. I don't know.
My favorite is Stannis, because he's kind of the only one left, and I think he's hard enough to be king. But in rebuttal to yours, this is just totally off topic, but even when Robert was taking the throne, the only reason he took the throne was because Rhaegar approached Lyanna and said she was beautiful and spirited away Lyanna, and he was like a child who lost his favorite toy and raised an entire... Granted, there's also more to it with Ned and his family, and Aerys was obviously mad. I'm not saying that he wasn't crazy. But
if you're gonna fight for something, why not fight for love?
He didn't love Lyanna, he loved the idea of Lyanna. That's
well,
like
that much is clear.
And then after he got the throne, after he had his little hissy fit and overthrew the Targaryens for no reason...
for no reason. The Targaryens are fucking insane.
For a reason. He became a glutton, an alcoholic, abusive husband who slept with at least 16 women and had 16 bastards.
I did not say that that's what I liked about him. I'm just saying what he used to be, I appreciate.
Okay. I have a deep-seated hatred for Robert Baratheon.